Alright, so speaking of Gatsby,
I'll
within his green light, what do you think was, what's his name's green light? It's Peter Parker.
Peter Parker's green light? Probably the whole Avengers team. Like, that was his whole goal, is to become an Avenger.
We're talking about which one?
What's the green light? Like what made him famous?
No, like
No,
in Gatsby's story, is what his want was.
The green light was his want, right?
So, like in Spider-Man 1, it would be Mary Jane. In Spider-Man 2, it would be Mary Jane and his powers back. And Spider-Man 3 would be Mary Jane.
And then to get rid of Venom. Well, no.
But
Was Venom 3 or 2?
Venom was
3. But Mary Jane more. And then in Spider-Man 2, it was to get Gwen. And in Spider-Man...
Yeah, I never
in TASM 1, it was to get Gwen. In TASM 2, it was like to avenge... To like know what his dad... It was all over the place.
It was like, yeah... 2 was alright. Like, the whole Electrode dude...
Him being black was...
What? Don't take this too racist.
No, I'm not saying it's racist. It's because it was like, it kind of felt like he was like, oh, he's black, we gotta put him in. That's the only reason I felt like he was in the story.
Yeah, I don't want to say that's true, but like...
That's how I felt.
I'm definitely not gonna say
he wasn't really
like
fleshed out like Green Goblin was. He was just kind of like, hey, here's a superhero that hasn't, here's a supervillain that hasn't been in it. Here's a race that hasn't been in it in Spider-Man. Let's go.
Yeah.
They just wanted to be as easy as possible.
That's what I feel.
And it makes sense, like, that's what they're gonna do.
Especially
they're a
with
big
that,
movie company. Like,
especially with that young director they had. He had only done 500 Days of Summer, which was like a romantic comedy, or a romantic, I don't know what it was, but I just remember being
I felt like Amazing Spider-Man 1 was a cool concept, like, with the whole lizard dude.
Yeah.
Lizard dude was pretty cool. And actually some of the stuff that he used in there, like the whole concept of using the web vibrations,
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty cool concept. But I feel like in 2...
with Andrew Garfield?
Yeah.
When he did that, that was pretty, that was cool.
But I feel like with Amazing Spider-Man 2, it was more of a true action movie than it was a true Spider-Man movie, right? Like, you know how you could say that Spider-Man's not your ordinary action movie, right? He's not the one blowing stuff up. He's not the one blowing stuff up, right? Like, and he's never been the one. That's never what Spider-Man has done, and it's generally not as well seen in the Spider-Man movies, right? Like, if we go back to the original Spider-Mans and stuff, it wasn't as much blow.
It was like Green Goblin blowing things up. Or like not every other time. He was like blowing the cables up for the bridge. Because
specifically with Amazing Spider-Man 2, there was a lot more explosions that happened, right?
Yeah. Like,
and it seemed like they were trying to be something that they're not. What they seemed like Spider-Man was trying to be something that's not, which sucks because the whole Spider-Man series is pretty solid. I just felt like that movie was a little bit. Oh, let's make another one for the sake of
making another one. Yeah, dude. Have you ever realized this? Right. So before going on this journey, I didn't really think about the way the directors took the movie. But if you actually look at like the directors and what they've done before, it's similar to their movies. Like look at Sam Raimi. He does like Evil Dead, things like that. You know, like horror movies, horror and a little bit of comedy here and there in there. So that's why in Spider-Man 2, the scene of Doc Ock killing the like surgeons and all that, it was like so just silent and just like a horror movie, right? And that's why there's so much screaming in there and everything like that. But if you go to like TASM, he directed a kind of more of a romantic film with 500 Days of Summer. So that's why he really prioritized, or it seemed to seem that way, where he had Gwen Stacy and Spider-Man have so much chemistry. Like if you look at Emma Stone and the guy and Andrew Garfield, it's just they were pretty good together. Like I feel like them in a relationship was pretty good. But what do you guys feel? What do you guys like talking about the same thing? Like what do you guys think about the relationship between MJ and Peter Parker in the new one?
Yeah.
I kind of had a problem. Oh, the new one.
Yeah, in
Homecoming.
Yeah,
like the real MJ or the one?
MJ, yeah, Zendaya.
No, not Zendaya.
Oh, Liz Allen?
Yeah.
Wait, so it's the one that...
the one with Vulture's daughter.
Oh, okay. I honestly thought it was pretty good.
I wasn't a fan. I mean,
I was like, it's alright.
It wasn't a generic MJ relationship, but it was. Yeah. It felt real. Like, it felt like actual. Like,
I'd say it felt real, but for me,
it felt a little bit genuine. I felt like the whole.
I
felt like it took a good spin on like the whole. Sorry, my guy. I felt like the entire movie took a good spin on like what high school is really about, right?
Yeah.
Like it's you know what I mean.
Yeah, so like
High school.
when you look at but for me, what my point of view is when you look at the comics and you look at the movie, it's like the comics are like, oh yeah, she's hot, but she's with Flash all the time, right? And then one day she's like, hey, you're kind of cute, let's hang out, and he's like, whatever. And then I kind of felt that it was just kind of like there was that one moment where they both liked each other and they like were hanging
on it.
where they acted on it, but they were kind of like just hanging out more often.
It
and
was,
nothing
more
happened.
of a friendship than it was a true relationship.
Yes, but it was kind of like just, I don't know, kind of fleeting, I guess, where it was there and not. And that's how I felt about this Liz Allen in the movie. It was just kind of like, oh, here's the relationship, it's going, and then it was like, what happened, where'd it go?
Yeah.
I had the exact opposite problem, because it seems like Mary and Jane,
Mary and Jane?
Miriam Jane, and Spider-Man in the new movies.
Miriam Jane.
Or I should say in the old movies, they kind of had a thing where like they were friends, but they couldn't really figure out a relationship.
It's because he wanted to save her. He wanted to protect her. Because look at what happened in Tassum 2. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Because he found out why that happened.
That sucked.
Like,
I hated that ending.
yeah, because Green Goblin found out who Spider-Man was, so he took Gwen Stacy, who he knows he loved. That's why he never. That's why he never.
I just hated
really
the
revealed
killing.
it. That's why he never told it.
I just hated when they killed Gwen Stacy.
I like the way they did it. Because
Oh yeah, the way that he did it was beautiful. It was actually really well thought out, like the way that they killed her
because
off.
it's
They-
not.
Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, it's not something
It's
that.
been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah, it's not something that
Yeah,
he
remember
could
when
have
she like snapped her neck when she fell
Yeah.
after he saved her with the web?
Oh,
He shot the web
he
down,
shot
and
the-
then she still.
Oh, he
she-
didn't reach her in
and-
time. That's right.
No, it
Yeah.
reached her in time, but it's
It
like
just-
the whiplash from it snapped her neck.
Oh, I thought she hit the ground and then it hit.
No.
Oh,
No.
shoot.
No, and so that's what's so beautiful for it with
It
with
was-
me. It's that he saved her. Technically, she never hit the ground. That was his goal, right?
Yeah.
But
But
then she hit the ground.
no, but her.
No, she didn't hit the ground. She never hit the ground.
But her neck, her.
No, it didn't.
He didn't touch the ground.
No.
No, she didn't
Oh.
touch the ground. The web kept her from hitting the ground.
Wait, what the hell? I feel like
Yeah.
it's happened like 1,000 times in the movies. No one's died from it up until now.
Exactly.
Yeah. So her neck snapped, and that's why I feel it's so. It's like it's just gravity. It's nothing he can do. It was
Yeah,
as
what-
soon as she fell, there's nothing he could have done.
Yeah.
I don't know, but he's done that to people before, so I feel
No,
like
because if you, I hate to interrupt, but it's like, and we're like, why did he die? Why did she die when that's happened before? And I'm thinking, well, in Tobey Maguire's movies, he always caught them, then swung, because to avoid that, and then he
Yeah.
never, but that was never done.
But
in
he's never
his
actually
movie.
like directly done that before.
No, he's never. He's done that like, when Doc Ock threw someone off the thing, and then he shot it and then threw him away. But otherwise, it was fine. He saved them, but he never. Every time someone was falling, he always jumped and
And
left
caught
and
them.
saved. Yeah.
Rather
Attention
than
to
just
detail.
webbed them.
Mm-hmm.
That is some good attention to detail.